Hey guys, this is Mr. Roxy again. This is like my second take on my first video back after my little hiatus and my little sort of stay away for medical attention and all that kind of stuff. I was so excited to catch up on the news, or to try anyway and catch up on the news, that I just shared a presentation with you without sharing the presentation with you. So what I thought is I will just do a quick re-record and run through the presentation slides very quickly. So that we can kind of, or you guys can get some context to what I was trying to share with you as I was going through that previous video. Bearish news is mounting for oil. So says Tom Cool on April the 8th. This was at 2 o'clock this afternoon Central Time. And right now it's approximately 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is sort of hot off the press and it's new as of today. So what exactly is going on here, Tom? Well, he says the IEA is to release 60 million barrels of strategic stocks over and above beyond the US's 180 million barrel stock draw. IEA countries agreed to release another 60 million barrels. Okay, pause here for just a second. Consumption on a daily basis is approximately 100 million barrels per day. So the US Strategic Petroleum Reserve release of 180 million barrels is almost 2 days worth of stock or inventory. And the IEA adding another 60 million brings that tally up to about 2.5 days worth of oil. Now, I don't know about you guys, but as I said in the previous video, 2 weeks ago, when I began my little hospital adventure, the price of gas at the pump for me was about $4 a gallon. And currently it's approximately $4 a gallon. So good job to the administration on doing absolutely nothing. The European Union is to ban Russian coal with a delay. Well, of course it has to have a delay. If they banned it immediately, they'd all go freezing and be in a serious world of hurt. So they have no choice but to say with a delay. The European Union's approval of a ban on Russian coal imports would take full effect from mid-August. I'm not a mathematician, but let's go. It's April, May, June, July, August. Well, then we're already effectively mid-summer. So, and even beyond. So maybe that's why there's a delay. You gotta be careful what you ask for, right? Because you might just get it. European tanker firms team up in a giant merger. Are you guys invested in these VLCCs, these very large containers? If you are, let me know. Let me know what you think. I have invested in a couple before, and I mentioned in the previous video that I lost money on one of them. Actually, I caught a little bit of daylight on that particular trade, because the company that I was invested in at the time, which was called Seadrill, was pretty much facing bankruptcy. And then one of the original owners who had originally capitalized the firm sunk some more money into it. And when he did that, then effectively the stock price jumped and it bounced quite a lot. It went up like almost close to 120% in one day. So I checked out and, still took a loss, but wasn't too bad. How about Shell? Shell upgrades its Russia write-down costs. Shell upgrades its Russia write-down costs. U.S. energy major Shell announced its decision to exit Russia will trigger a write-down of up to $5 billion in the first quarter of 2022. This is a tough one, man. Right now you can buy Russian assets for pennies in the dollar. And I sincerely hope that this conflict is not going to be with us for a long time. The decision to exit is going to cost Shell $5 billion. I can't help but wonder how much this is actually costing the taxpayers. Russian refineries start overflowing with surplus products. Well, there's no surprise there, right? So if you keep producing, but your buyers are kind of dwindling and going away, you get into a situation where you quickly run into oversupply, which is one of the reasons why Russia has been selling energy products to India at a discounted price. Arguably, good job Russia for selling your stuff, but better job India for picking up some energy, which they desperately need to lift their economy at discounted prices. US jet fuel prices shoot through the roof. What happened with jet fuel prices on the US Atlantic coast? It soared to a record of $7.60 per US gallon this week as the region suffers from depleted inventories. A little bit of mixed messaging, huh? Record coal production cuts Chinese import need. Good job, China, with Chinese coal producers ramping up production in Q1, up 6 to 7% year on year. Beijing's import requirements are gradually dwindling amid the high outright prices, with most analysts expecting a drop of 40 to 50 million tons. That is material. Green investors, ask governments not to jeopardize the climate. Now, firstly, I hate to break it to you. I'd hate for it to be me to break it to you, but green investors, there is absolutely nothing that you can do to impact the Earth's climate. And there's even less that can be done. Governments are fabulously inefficient. So by asking them not to jeopardize the climate, you are actually effectively achieving absolutely nothing. What we can do is rather focus and say what we have achieved in the last 100 years is to lift so many people out of poverty that we've moved the needle from approximately 90% of people living in poverty as a result of the Industrial Revolution and the energy and oil boom. The pendulums flip completely the other way around, and now we have approximately 80–90% of people no longer living in poverty, and we have a billion people or more to lift out of poverty. So the energy and oil and the Industrial Revolution and all these horrible things that we've done have been the greatest service to humankind, tapping into something that the earth provided for us in order to generate energy. But don't get ahead of yourselves, green investors. There is very little that you can do. You got to be very bold to suggest that you can do anything in your personal capacity as an investment firm or as a government to not jeopardize the climate. You do not control the climate. US nat gas prices nearing a 2008 record. We haven't seen this in almost 15 years. Henry Hub futures trading at $6.40. Record Saudi prices cool Indian and Chinese interest following this week's record price setting from Saudi Aramco. Media reports indicate that China and India will nominate less Saudi crude imports in May, with both continuing to purchase discounted Russian barrels as European buyers self-sanction from buying Urals. There are winners and losers in this particular sentence, and I'm not going to pick them. I don't want to go there. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have an opinion. I don't have any standing, but read this very, very carefully with me. India and China will nominate less Saudi crude imports in May, with both countries, India and China, continuing to purchase discounted Russian barrels as European buyers self-sanction. Who's getting hurt the most? I'm not talking about in the conflict. I'm talking about in the economic conflict that is unfolding before us here. Sometimes you got to be careful what you ask for or what you wish for, because you might just get it. What does Citibank say? Citi, the major US bank, says fears of oil supply shortage are exaggerated, but Russia's supply loss could be lower than feared. And Citi's Ed Morse says COVID lockdowns in China can help lower the demand. Not too sure about this one, Mr. Morse. Everybody's focus right now is on Shanghai because of lockdowns and things like that. I am not absolutely convinced that lockdowns in Shanghai can very, very materially impact global supply and demand for energy. So I'm not giving you that one. It's not a freebie. There's no mulligan. That is not correct. The world will have more than enough oil in the coming months, according to Citigroup analysts. That is important, guys, because what you want to do is make sure, from a macro thesis point of view, you stay on top of the supply and demand curve so that you know exactly what your potential opportunity or your potential risk looks like at any given time. What's happening locally? Permian. But in the Permian, that takes a lead as U.S. drillers add 16 rigs, mostly in the Permian. Of course, Occidental is the champion of the Permian. Talking about Occidental, how did it do last week? Well, it opened at $58.71 this past Monday, and it closed today, which is Friday, up 7% for the day, and it was almost $62. Not a bad week. A couple of bumps at the beginning of the week, and then up, and pretty good for the rest of the week. Well done, Oxy. Well done, us. All 3,000 of us, right? There's now a community here of 3,000 people who are energy investors. And what we do is we try to focus on the things that matter and the things that are important. In other words, we focus on the macro thesis, we focus on the commodity prices, we focus on the rigs, we focus on the output, the production, the earnings per share, and all that kind of good stuff. And be less and less and less distracted by all the other stuff that they want to throw at you all the time just to draw your attention away from what really matters. Oxy's earnings date, this is according to NASDAQ, is anticipated. It's actually off NASDAQ's site, but it's according to Zacks. Expected around May the 9th. Today is April the 8th, so it's a month away from today. It's going to be a blowout quarter. The Occidental benefited from WTI average price $100 plus for the entire quarter, January, February, March. This is going to be a big quarter. It's going to be good for Occidental. It's going to be good for us. According to Zacks, based on 8 analyst forecasts, the consensus EPS forecast for the quarter is $1.49. The reported EPS for the same quarter last year was -15 cents. This little blue dot here, Oxy has a high energy quality ranking for the 34th consecutive week. Earnings quality refers to the extent to which the current earnings predict future earnings. This is a good picture for Occidental. And you know, in my haste to say, hey, I'm back, I did the entire presentation that I just had to repeat without the actual presentation, with you guys just staring at my YouTube studio screen. So my humble apologies for that. As you can see, obviously, I have at least 2 brain cells that are functioning, and soon the others will catch up. And as we go, we'll kind of figure out what's going on and find ourselves in a good place again. So this is an updated version to update the previous one where the presentation was lacking. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.